Hi. So I decided to make a short video with a suggestion of a DreamWork practice, a simple practice that you might, whatever resonates with you. You might want to try just one thing here. So you're writing these things down, obviously. You're going to need a journal. I record my things in Evernote in my computer because I type fast. I found that trying to analyze dreams all the time or randomly didn't work. I do my dream work on the quarters of the moon. So the full moon, the new moon, and the cross quarter days, the half, they look like half moons, but they're the quarter moons. So on those 4 days in the month, I wake up in the morning and I go through this process. So the first thing is I take one image, a single image from the dream. And from that image, first you want to describe it, just describe it, jot it down in brief, and maybe just noting qualities, the color that's predominating, the landscape that's predominating, whatever really takes your attention. Maybe there's a character that you are interacting with, an entity that really takes your attention. Maybe it's a feeling. Really hone in on the details of this one single scene. One thing to notice is the language that you tend to notice if you're writing down the dream. And dreams, it's most helpful to write them down, at least from my perspective, in the present tense. So I am, I see, versus the separation that happens if you say I was in this dream. There's a removal that's created there. So write it in the present tense. So you write down your scene, and I'm talking about maybe 3 lines, 4 lines describing a scene. If you want to go more, go crazy, if you're inspired. So from that dream scene that you've taken down, that dream setting, choose an object, an image, a specific entity within that setting that you want to focus on, your dream symbol per se. And you're going to use a technique called amplification. This technique involves using that image as kind of the center of your universe. You keep returning to that image. Don't let yourself kind of trail out on a thread of thoughts. Think of that image, say an apple. You choose your symbol, and you could even set a timer if you want to limit yourself, 2 minutes, and just amplify that image, meaning touch on that image. What do you associate it with? Touch on that image. What comes into your mind? Touch on that image. What comes into your mind? Go back to the image. What comes into your mind? You don't want to just keep following a thread of thought. Just touch on the image, respond. Touch on the image, respond. Keep returning to it. You want to delve beyond your rote. When you're bored and you're coming up with images or responses that are familiar to you, you're not quite there yet. And the thing to know is that often when there's material there, perhaps shadow material, you'll tend to draw blanks or have resistance or not want to go in. So in that case, what you can do is just describe in as much detail as possible. The proverbial alien comes to Earth and you're describing this object. You're describing just the phenomena. This is a brilliant red apple. The light is shining off of it. It's a deep, rich, kind of sinister red. It makes me think of Snow White, and then you see off you go when you start describing in detail like that. So let the words, let the language lead you in, let the description, the phenomena. So through this process, you're keeping this question in mind about what is the dream's purpose. Dreams absolutely serve a purpose. I think this is an unquestionable thing. It's a phenomenon in your mind, and it was suggested, I think most clearly to me by Marie-Louise Von Franz, that The mind tries in sleep to complete things that are incomplete in waking life, things that haven't been resolved. And that's endless. That's the unfolding of life. But why not work with the lunar powers of the non-rational dream faculty to help you? I mean, it's quite magical. It's quite interesting besides, to help gain information rather than just the falsity that you can rely on your rationale, which misses so much of the equation. So basically what you're doing is by working with dreams, you're allowing a pathway for it to influence and to pepper your waking life. So you want to keep asking that, how is this dream connected with my waking life? How can I relate this dream to a conscious situation? Examine what happened the day before. Is there any connections you can make with something, an image you saw, something in a movie that struck you, some quality of light in your day, to see if you can make connections with the day before, and then following the day of recording the dream, noticing, is there anything that harkens back? Again, Von Franz makes mention, something I find very interesting, slips of the tongue or glitches in thinking are often found, apparently, to be related or relatable back to dream material, specifically the dream of the night before. So there's a very close connection between something that your mind is hung up on, comes up in the dream, and then kind of interrupts your normal mask of going through a day, and this is who I am, and this is what I'm doing. These glitches, when those happen, stop and do a quick inquiry. Could that be related? Is there something there? Is that leading me to some clue in my dream? Again, we're dealing with lunar material, non-rational material. So forget, if you can, holding yourself into some kind of container of rationality. Why does this actually make sense? Can I argue this? We're dealing with the non-rational, so let it be surreal, let it be weird, let the juxtapositions be like a surrealist painting, a spoon in the middle of the desert kind of thing. This last thing is, I find to be really poignant. So after you work with your dream in these ways, find a phrase or a title, a dream motto that summarizes as best you can. Look for that feeling of satisfaction, like, yeah, I like that title, and just trust that. What does the dream mean to you? And again, trust that. There's always further you can go. There's always some professional you can consult, but really this is about learning to research your own deeper self, the wells of your being that your rational conscious can't access. So go with the feeling above all, and write a title to this dream. Give it a motto that just feels like it fits. And then what I do is each month I review my dream notes, and I just make note of if there's any repeating symbolism. And sometimes this symbolism actually echoes itself in my day-to-day life. It will be the thing I gravitate towards, or a particular color, a particular texture can be a symbol. So open up that definition of what symbol means. It's a symbol I would define as a phenomena, meaning something that arises in the material world that has a particular quality. So you're noticing what quality is that, and what is the feeling associated with it. And note on a regular basis, I would recommend, again, I do it every month, note what these repeating phenomena look like. And sometimes I have nothing. So, just trust the process, give it time, let it be simple. As soon as it starts being tedious or boring or feels like a drudge, you've got to drop it. Just let it be play, let it be interesting, let your curiosity lead you. My main sources: Carl Gustav Jung, Marie-Louise Von Franz, Robert Moss, Tenzin, Wangyal, Rinpoche, to name a few of the people that I've gotten my source material from. So thank you, and do leave your comments, how the practice goes for you and whatnot below.